Here we are at the Cape Horn Lookout along the Columbia River Gorge. This is Highway 14 right behind us. To the west is behind me, and looking straight ahead is to the east. We're headed east to White Salmon. To the right you can see the mountains for the Cascade Mountain Range for state of Oregon, and to the left is the state of Washington. All kinds of exciting hiking trails, waterfalls, wild animals. This is absolutely one of the best views along the Columbia River. We're looking at Highway 14 as it swings around. These cars here are going back to the west. You can see the forest down below, so absolutely beautiful landscape here with the fir trees, have a few pine trees mixed in. Okay, we're going to head on to the east towards White Salmon, and then we'll start our venture back from White Salmon to Stevenson and back this way along the Columbia River Gorge, Washington State.
In today's travel video, we're going to start in the Pacific Northwest along the Columbia River in White Salmon, Washington. We're going to travel along Highway 14 and through the Columbia River Gorge. We're going to make a stop in Stevenson, Washington, and our final destination will be at Cape Horn with some fantastic views of the Columbia River Gorge.
This is Richard traveling. I'm in White Salmon, Washington, along the Columbia River Gorge. We're going to be touring the Columbia River Gorge today, beginning from White Salmon to all the way back into Stevenson, and then along to Vancouver, Washington. White Salmon is about an hour and 15 minutes or so from Portland, Oregon, and Vancouver, Washington area. It's a recreational area. There's people that live out in this area. They've moved out of the big city into the White Salmon area to get away from the traffic and the hectic lifestyle. So we'll show you more of the sights in the White Salmon, and then eventually we'll go over to Stevenson, Washington. There's about 2,500 people that live here in White Salmon. We're looking at some of the shops. Here's a barber shop. Just looking at some of the little shops along the way. Here's a bookstore. Looks like we have a fresh juice bar, healthy eats right here. People eating in here today. And really a quiet little town. People really enjoy living out here. There's some fantastic views of the river, also of Mount Hood. We'll take a look at some of that here shortly. White Salmon was incorporated in 1907. We're walking along the downtown area here. Lots of beautiful plants, very nice landscaped area along the downtown area. It's really a small downtown area, just a few blocks here. Here's an interesting looking house I found right here in White Salmon. Looks like a 3-story Victorian style home. Here's a shot of Columbia River, high above the Columbia River, and looking at the Dalles across the way. The Dalles is in Oregon. And you may be able to get a shot of the Mount Hood in the background. Downtown White Salmon, built in 1907. We're looking across the Columbia River into Dalles, Oregon. In the background is Mount Hood. You can still see the snow-capped mountain there. And then we're looking to the west down the Columbia River Gorge from White Salmon. The Columbia River Gorge is a playground for wind enthusiasts, windsurfers. This gorge creates a Venturi effect as the wind narrows down through the canyon there. It speeds up the wind. You can see the whitecaps perhaps on the water, but it's a great windsurfing area. The windsurfers will be out later today. There's a shot of a windsurfer. You may see 2 or 3 in the background. We're going to start heading west along the Columbia River Gorge now. You can see the water's pretty rough, lots of wind coming through here. Looking out across the Columbia River, we're going to be heading west into the Columbia River Gorge. On this side of the mountains, it's much drier, and on the western side it's more moist and there's more dense population of trees. We're entering Stevenson now. Cute little town. It's about 30 minutes outside Vancouver, Portland, Oregon area. It's morning on a Saturday morning. Seems to be lots of people out and about though. All kinds of activities. We're going to get out and just wander around and see what's going on in this town. Skamania Port waterfront. It's a cute little park that's down here right on the water, and over here on the right they've got some cabins. We'll take a look at those here in a moment, and then over to the left here it looks like you can walk on the water here. Got an area that you can go out on the water and check it out. They've got a pier here you can walk out. Steamboats used to dock right here. This was an old dock years back, back in the early 1900s, and steamboats would dock here. Steamboats used to stop right here at this port back in the, looks like 1850s to the 1920s. They would stop here in Stevenson and get loaded up with fuel, would be wood. And so that was the reason for stopping here in Stevenson, Washington. Lewis and Clark also came through this area. Back when they came through here though, the river wasn't this big. It was a rushing, flowing river. Lots of rapids. Hard to maintain now with the dams. It's of course more calm water. Okay, we're in Stevenson, Washington. Little park here that's set up for people to just come out and enjoy the area. Got a pier that you can walk out on. Or you can go off to the side here. Down by the park they've got this area where you can rent one of these log homes. Really nicely designed log homes. Looks like you could stay for the weekend or a little vacation. Interesting concept here for a city to have some log homes, nice landscaped areas. Kind of a rustic look to these homes and area. Beautiful flowers and a nice view overlooking the Columbia River. Okay, we're in the little town of Stevenson now. Lots of activity. Looks like they're setting up a little festival or Saturday market perhaps. This town's been around since early to mid 1800s. There's about 11,000 people in this county. Most of the county is Forest Service, National Forest Service. There's a shot of this county courthouse as we look down the street here, Stevenson, Washington. Great little town to spend the day, enjoy some of the festivities, have something to eat. Got a great ice cream shop down here. Always enjoy going to. Here's a shop, Bloomsbury. Looks like they have all kinds of flowers here that they sell. Kind of a rustic look to this building. This sits right on Highway 14. These people are coming right down Highway 14, the traffic. It's like some nice flower arrangements here, plants. Got an interesting looking restaurant here. La Casa Sabor, the House of Flavor. One of the biggest employers in this area is in Stevenson is Skamania Lodge. One of the biggest employers in this area is in Stevenson is Skamania Lodge. We're at Skamania Lodge, one of the biggest employers in Skamania County. This is one of the nicest lodges in the area. Let's go inside and check it out. Get this beautiful rock floor here. Looks like Smokey the Bear. Beautiful rock fireplace. Beautiful lodge here. Skamania Lodge overlooks the Columbia River. You can see the mountains in the background there in the river. Beautiful lodge. Looking from the back side of the lodge. It's a giant place here. Beautiful windows here that for viewing. They have this giant fireplace here. Must be about 40 feet tall. Beautiful wood structure on the inside. We're going to head west into the Columbia River Gorge. As we get into the Columbia River going west, we get into more trees because we get into more moisture during the year. Cape Horn Lookout. This is at the west end of the Columbia River Gorge. We're looking to the east. We started at White Salmon, then hit Stevenson, and to our right is Vancouver and Portland down the Columbia River. Across the river we have the state of Oregon, and on the left side the state of Washington. It's kind of an overcast day as the clouds are hanging out at the tops of the mountains. We're looking down the Columbia River Gorge here on the Columbia River. Got a house directly below us on the river. Beautiful location. The evergreen trees fill the landscape. Cedar trees, fir trees. And across the way we have the state of Oregon. We're looking down Highway 14 as it traverses along the mountainside here and then out over the Columbia River Gorge here. We're looking at the drop right off of Highway 14 here straight down. It's about an 800-foot drop, and wouldn't want to take an extra step to the downside here. So it's a beautiful view from the top here at Cape Horn.